was learning about the stone man syndrome yesterday, where your muscles calcify and become bone, turn into bone, and your body develops, they say, a second skeleton, and that's just horrifying, right? And that disease is literally evil. So, but it's so rare that there isn't enough study and enough money that can be put into it. And looking at my other videos about how to create a universal healthcare system, a new type of healthcare system that could pump money into that, aside from actually completely altering the economy, it dawns on me, I think about a year ago, somewhere around there, that when I was trying to reduce my gravitational field model, I was going to create a null particle structure physics, which is sub-quantum physics, and build up to the standard model. Aside from that, I realized that its potential could be scaled. So then we could do atomically and nuclearly. That there is, at some point in the future, going to most likely be a universal equation for medicine to find cures. And I'm probably not smart enough for that, obviously, but based on how you understand gravity and molecular physics, that we can go at medicine in a different way instead of the scientific method, which reduces and finds cause and effect, forming hypotheses and testing and trying to basically shoot an arrow into water and try to catch a fish. Is kind of what medicine is. And instead of just a money pit, I think if we could find this equation, as I'm envisioning it, and we could get the best physicists in the world working on this, potentially we could create a system, an entire database where people don't necessarily have to still go to school for 10, 15 years sometimes to specialize, but that we could get more people into the medical field using this database, and all they have to really do is test the molecular structure of various diseases, how they're progressing, what they're doing over time, to formulate cures kind of on the spot in any hospital on the planet, where somebody who's not even trained in medicine as you would be trained today, just a basic person, would be trained in physics and how to use the formulas. Because there's a lot more people that are talented with mathematics that they don't want to spend all that time to become a doctor, and to them the only rationality would be the money, right? But yet you still want to help people in a way. So how do you use physics to help people? Probably this is the greatest solution. We could I'm going to spend more time working on it, but this is something that you don't keep to yourself. It's just understanding how molecules form and how the physics of different molecules change over time relates to DNA and how it forms bones and muscles and everything, and how bones can create they're like, it's like a foam-like structure in the middle of the bone, and then as it builds outwardly, what's changing in the molecules that are allowing the gravitational frame, there you go, the frame of this this isolated area where it has its own gravitational field structure in a way that it's it's chromodynamic and it's mass oriented and energy derived, that how these things then, the same molecules and atoms build outwardly and then they collapse and condense and create stronger and stronger bone and stuff like that, is just a simplified way of trying to explain what's in my brain. That there's got to be some sort of an equation. So we could figure out these equations, and I ain't gonna repeat myself. However, I'm still gonna think about it more. Maybe I can find a medical book that might further enlighten me. Because looking at that disease, I start thinking about various ways that we could treat it and cure it. And I'm no doctor, but I do have a creative mind, so I'm thinking of like sieve networks or sieve shielding, if that makes any sense. Sieve, like a way to insulate muscles from, as far as the video one explained, that the white blood cells are transforming into stem cells that are turning into bone molecules, and when they're repairing muscles that are damaged. So to me, I'm thinking, well, if we have all these treatment plans, we could have bonding, like viruses that bond to muscles that are designed to only attack white or stem cells, unnecessary amounts of stem cells, stuff like that. That would delay the disease, reducing that. Or I thought at first it was the skin doing it, because it looks like that too, that potentially we could insulate the layer of the skin between that, or insulate bones. And the whole thing is that you try to create this sieve that filters out undesirable white blood cells, and or could alter them to chemically or molecularly in a way that would like bond to the white blood cells in a way that, as they do convert into stem cells, then the necessary ingredients are there to prevent it from creating bone as it tries to repair the muscles. And I don't know, I had like 10 different things yesterday, but it's just trying to throw out those ideas that anybody that might be able to use them, who knows? You never know. That it does, why don't we just use physics? Why don't we just use physics? There's got to be an equation. Because based on that idea of trying to create like an exhaust, like a catalytic converter for white blood cells, that we could insulate the bones as the blood cells are being produced, and then they take a certain path and they're converted into healthy white blood cells. Aside from just killing all the marrow in this girl's body and replacing it with healthy marrow, I'm not a doctor, so it probably sounds silly. And how white blood cells are made, I haven't been in biology in a long time, so. But the physics are still there, and bones are kind of just like trees. That's how I see them. Trees look and function almost identically to bone. So if we can have the physics that understands how like trees can grow, then why, if we can figure out an equation for that, could we figure out an equation for how bones form then, and how would they interrelate, and how would they unify, right? So how would you have this universal physics equation that can be used for cures? And that was my thought process.